Morning Scrum with Govind Davis.
Yeah, it's gonna turn that heater off. It's actually starting to get warm enough in the later in the day here that I'm not freezing in my garage. And it's funny. It is funny to me how I've gotten back to this place where I'm reminded, like, doing this show isn't work, right? It's like I'm like, oh man, I really want to do. I'm like, wow, I actually got some free time now. I got a little bit of time. The kids are on. Their kids are going to be back on early release, but yeah, I'm like just like, hey, I don't want to skip my show today. I just like I want to do this. It's fun, and so I was having some fun and getting everything set up. And when I say having fun, I mean like playing with like the toys. They play with all the like robots and all the technology and making like cool stuff, right? And part of my engine here is about okay, so I've got my CRM set up. I ended up in ADIO and I'm not changing. Like, okay. And so I decided I'm going to use ADIO and I'm going to go after ADIO to go get them as a customer following this sponsor model and all this stuff, right? So today's show is about ADIO and I'm actually going to try to figure out, I'm going to engineer the video for this. I mean, it's not I know how to produce video and I can do it. It's a lengthy process right now, and I'm ready to like go and take the step where I'm like, hey, I add video almost always, right? And I'm gonna go figure out how to optimize or workflow that, but and put it together into a package and be like, hey, Adio, you guys should be one of my sponsors because I really like their product, and that's why today it's like, okay, what I'm talking about today is like as I finalize my approach, it's like what's on my taskbar because when I put on my Windows taskbar, that's just how I work. Like those are the things that I'm using all the time, and I'll show you what I have there right now. Go through that a little bit, and then I'm gonna tell some stories and like talk about why ADIO is going to be the centerpiece of like what I'm doing. And I feel like after like playing around with, reconsidering HubSpot and Zoho and like all these different options, I'm like, I have landed on what I love. So, and that's really it. And, call out here to Nagi and warm up IP and warm up your emails. And, yeah, I mean that's it. You just all these different tools have them. I mean, really, to be honest with you, Doggy's like the expert at sending lots of email, and so it's something that I'm always spending time on. And if you want scale and lots of emails, then actually like honestly, just talk to me, and I'd love to help people with that. And jeez, here we go. Here's the dog. Anyway, it's a good thing I'm going to edit this later. Romy, stop. I opened the door for Lucy. Jeez. So anyway, you can see how it's hard to actually record. You're like, oh, what am I doing? Wait, I lost my music. Oh my gosh, after all this. There we go. Okay. So anyway, at least I have it on for the good part. And I'll try to make, actually at the end, I'll probably, what I'm going to do? I'm going to record without the music. Ooh, no, because I like the live show. That was an interesting question. I record without the music because then I can add it later. Because I think that's the piece is like recording with the music is probably going to be a problem. So I'm just going to not record with the music, and we'll start there. So the all right, screen share. Screen share there, and okay. So yeah, I like this setup. All right, so I'm back to my workspace, and I decided today I'm going to try this idea where I created the Scrum show and inside, and then I created folders. So then that way I can like just do all my prep work here. And then yeah, I'm going to come up here and just go into my topics and like use this a bit. So I'm going to just practice here a little bit. So this starts with, oh, that's what I was going to do actually. Well, I'm just going to do it here. I'm going to do it this way. I was going to, I was thinking about the, oh, see, this is interesting because it would be better. Yeah, I'm going to download these here. These are images that I created here, but it's better if I actually download these and just load them up here because the less post-production. This is funny, actually. It's worth talking about. So this is the first audio that I got. And then I was like, make it look like I loaded up a picture and I was like, that in some strange way looks like me. And then in some other way, I'm like, that is not, if I look like that, I need to run away. I need to like, I can never show my face. So anyway, I came up with this. I'm like, yeah, that's more like it. Uh, anyway, yeah. I think if you put it's I don't really wear like the tight shirt, too much dad bod. The yeah, anyway. So I'm gonna do this. All right, here we go. That one. And I want to go. I want to do this. And I want to add. There we go. And then I want to go here. And I want to go like make me smaller. Can't make me smaller really without making those smaller. No, see, really, there's only like that view is the only one that really works. But this is cool. And then I want Oracle over here. There we go. This is not bad. So, yeah, for this segment, I started thinking about that. I think it's like it's helpful for me to tell my story and why like for a particular say like SaaS B2B tech type product, like why I'm someone who has like a unique set of experiences that could have a huge impact. And so the first one is really about QuickBase, but I'm going to tell the Oracle story because it is a big company that, and it's like a crazy story, right? So anyway, I was building stuff on QuickBase. That's a long story in and of itself. And I love QuickBase. Like it was like a really uniquely cool product. And that, for me, it was like, let me take this to like a whole nother level. And I started doing that and building this like insane apps and became a QuickBase partner. And they were like, hey, we have this super important customer that we need you to help. Oh, shoot. I'm really mess this up completely. Now there's the light. I'm going to start this over so I have the light and actually have a decent recorded session. So this is the Oracle story. And the whole idea of this is what I'm trying to focus on right now is how do I tell the story of why I'm uniquely positioned to help a, a kind of like high ticket or a like how would I say like a a a B2B tech product, let's call it. It doesn't have, what does high ticket mean? But things that are like um, you know, like tech platforms, tools, and honestly, like the sweet spot for me is like on the like the usage side, let's say, right? So um back in my like many years ago, I was involved with QuickBase, which is a low code platform. And see, it's funny. I'm like telling this whole story now. Like I'm trying to record this in a way that's meaningful. But anyway, I'm going back to the Oracle story. So anyway, somehow I started building this crazy stuff on QuickBase. I come back to I go to QuickBase. I'm like, hey, I just want to check out your partner thing. And they sort of were like, wow, you're like building insane things, right? And these like crazy things. And we have like after a while, I did a few little projects for and got couple of customers, got a little better at what I was doing. And they were like, hey, like we have this really like important customer that needs your help. And like you're the only one who I think can really like solve this problem. And they're like, okay, fine, that's awesome. That's cool. Yeah, I'd love to help. They're like, well, it's Oracle. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. Like, whatever. Like, I felt good about what I could accomplish, So I went out there and met with the team and ended up building their global revenue compliance system. Essentially, was it? Yeah, I think that's what global revenue compliance. I can't even remember the name of it, but it was, basically we evaluated every deal that Oracle sold. And you can imagine there's a lot of these like coming in at the end of the quarter, like around the globe, right? 24/7 analysis and ultimately the like reporting for SOX, for Sarbanes-Oxley. It was like a crazy project. And but it like highlights it was the kind of work that I enjoy doing. And sort of that launched me into like lots of other like insane projects for like Walmart and Merck and P&G and Coke and just Disney, everybody, like all kinds of really interesting, fascinating projects, like really pushing the limits of low code. And it's just like for me, I love to play with technology that now, Lucy, I'm in the middle. Oh my gosh, it's like impossible for me to get through anything. I'm like, this is how do I become like a recording artist when I can't even get 5 minutes? Anyway, she didn't know I'm doing nothing because I just try to sneak it in. So anyway, back to the Oracle story. Um, QuickBase to me was an amazing, like of all these like products, SaaS products was an amazing product. And I mean, it still is an amazing product, but there was factors for me that I'm like, hey, I can rapidly build things and quickly solve problems that like other people were really struggling with. And, ended up building 300, I mean, it's probably thousands of actual applications when you consider just things that I was messing around with or little things that I did. And so, I developed like a skill set for being able to like, patch together things and also then realized, okay, like don't really want to I don't know, just like life changes everything. And I also struggled to like get outside of like the QuickBase arena and come up with like an identity or a framework that was like going to scale outside of that. Like we just couldn't. And we honestly like had a huge impact on QuickBase growth. I mean, we brought tens of thousands of licenses. And in the end, like I exited to my partner and then stayed on and helped him exit to QuickBase. And the reason, out of like probably 50 partners, the reason they bought us was our like when we built the apps for people. This is my company, MCO Tech. When we built the apps, that eventually they realized that I guess our like whatever, it's not the churn rate, it's the opposite of churn. It's whatever the retention rate was 3.7 times longer. And so it just like when you engineer and like help people get adoption on a product, and like really integrate it and build it into how they work, that like these things stick around. And otherwise that's, that's just how you avoid churn. Right. So anyway, once I exited, I would had set out to like learn about marketing because I thought, oh, like marketing, like I failed. I did not build a business that is going to be $100 million business or whatever. And I didn't even get, to 10 or five, even five. And my partner Mike got to just over five. And you're like in many cases, you're like, hey, that's great. From nothing to, to something like that. It was producing a lot of economic value. But it just for me was like I wanted to learn about marketing and really gonna get into something that was more aligned with me. And so I spent the last 10 years focused on really mostly outbound, um, and many different, I ran a little SEO company, built a couple of like Facebook communities that, like got decent size, 10, 20,000 people and like super active engagement. But I'd say like most of my success was in outbound, like sales driven, or engaged, high ticket engagement driven types of marketing, like sending like 4 million B2B emails or like, like, I mean, which is a lot, but not a lot if you really like send a lot of emails. Right. But, to send cold emails and execute that, I mean, there's a lot that you learn, and a lot of that works for SaaS companies. And there's something I would say, if you do marketing work like if you do marketing work for established companies, you could probably just do like, you could just produce good results. Like you could produce like good work, and if you're lucky, you'll change the results, right? Like, running marketing campaigns for established brands or whatever, you're just trying to get like a little bit more, right? So, but when you run marketing for things that are new or try to produce new streams of revenue, like a lot, it's just not going to work a lot of the time. That's just like the facts of life. But I did have enough work that I was able to see when it did work, like, being in the room when the company was like blowing up and getting acquired, or like, whoa, okay, I've been there and now I've seen that, and I've seen what good looks like, or I've seen what winning looks like, and I've seen what all the attempts at winning look like. I've seen what doesn't look good and what the so it's a tremendous experience. And after I put it all together for myself, I thought, the thing that I do best and what I love to do is to play with the toys and play with tools, help people get value from my experience with that, and just, show them what's possible, and to broadcast and get that word out. I mean, I just, I'm constantly building my own little outbound engines, running, constantly communicating with people. And I'm excited to build my digital presence in a significant way, and align this in a way that builds me up, but also creates momentum for anybody that surrounds me. Like anybody that I wanted, that, like I'm looking for people to come and get and purchase my content packages, but I'm really looking for, companies that want to have, have me create a huge impact through that. And it may look like, my whatever my LinkedIn brand today is small, but the truth for me is that I'm like in the very infancy of this, and I have a huge ambition to produce a ton of value for and just amplify the voices of anybody that I engage with. So for today's uh, messaging or event, or today's event, for today's show, I'm going to focus on ADIO and just kind of show a few things about why, like I, kind of what I'm setting up, and why why I love this product, and why, when I showed my screen here, let's see, I'm not going to switch scenes. I'm going to just remove this, and I'm going to replace that. No, not with that, with the screen share. Don't really know what this is. Okay, let me just share the whole screen. Oh yeah, I want to go here. Yeah, and actually this is kinda good 'cause my goal is not to zoom in and show a whole bunch on the screen. I need to actually that works better, but, I need to get this might be the way to go. Then you just can't really see it all. Let me just get back here. I just need to fix this background. You know what I'm gonna do? Just gonna it's not guess it's always been like that and I just didn't notice it. I don't know. I'm not gonna mess with it today. So yeah, audio. Okay, so yeah, I looked at, I'm constantly, oh, change this, try that, and wire this up. And I tried audio out a few different times over the past like year and a half or so, and I liked so many things about it, but I just was like never got the traction with what I was doing, or there was just like other reasons why I didn't end up like building completely around it. And then um I don't a couple of days ago or earlier this week, I guess, or I did a morning scrum on it, and I thought, okay, well, what, you know, like I just wasn't feeling the stuff in Zoho, honestly, and it was fine. I think what it was is I felt like I'm so early in my process that I want to be able to like quickly make changes, right, and make it really. It just I felt like I was doing a lot of extra clicks, and so what I like I mean, I love the interface and the experience in Adeo, like this home. It's like, okay, here's my meetings. Like it's cool. Like it's telling me what's going on. I could look at my tasks. So I need to take care of some things. And actually just there's so many little things as I started getting in here. I'm like, I just really like the way it's thinking about how I work. And yeah, I love they have the LinkedIn. I think this is a big piece for me too, is like the LinkedIn sidebar, which, if I show a lot more audio, I can go into this. And like, I just like, hey, I'm in Sales Navigator, I'm prospecting, and you can actually see the people. So I started saying, okay, I'm going to add, like my influencer targets. So I created a little board for this. I have lucid cues. I don't know if I call it cues. I don't know. It could be cues A. I really don't know. I'm gonna go with cues. Um, so I'm gonna move Adio over here to target because I love to have the like board going on. And I don't even like honestly like need the other stages. Yeah, because I'm just gonna sort of be like, okay, what because he's this kind of account based, right? I'm like, I'm going after Adio, but what I did already was I just used that um the add-in, you can so I got some people in here, um, VP of sales, head of communications, VP of marketing, co-founder and CEO. Okay, that's like a pretty good place to start. And and so added these people, added the company. Just I'm just in Sales Navigator, mining around, and also added these guys to the influencer targets list. Sorry, sponsor targets. Um, and here they are. I'm gonna add, really easy to like build into like what makes sense for me. And there we go. Right. So I mean, like again, it's sort of like that quick base experience for me when you're like, okay, this is like a product that has something special. And trust me, like when I say that, that means I've like banged on like 50 other things that are just like mediocre, right? So you can see like now that being said, I do have a little bit of a rotating, it's like I edit about something and then I'll move on. But from a sales tool perspective, I'm like, if I'm gonna grow my business, I'm gonna get a tool that I'm just gonna like get deep into. And there's so much more to this that was good, right? Like integrating it with LinkedIn has been really straightforward with the messaging. I already showed that. And Oh, that was the other thing. And so then I was like, man, there's just too many apps. So I took my Asana and I just built because I'm like, what am I really doing in Asana? I'm not really doing that much. I'm just like kind of create. It's like a Kanban for me, right? And I like some of the stores, but it's not my main workspace. So it's just where I kind of keep track. And so I was like, oh, it's super easy to just create my board in here, and came up with a few different like little things that improvements in doing this. And what I love honest also is just the tasks. So it's like, okay, let me go to like Sorrent. I was struggling with Asana because it's like tasks, it's just overwhelming with the tasks and subtasks and a hierarchy. And so this was kind of nice because I'm just like, oh hey, like I can have this like top level, like it's almost like a project, or it's just something I keep moving around. I'm like, I'm gonna work on this today, and then okay, super easy to add these like really like basic tasks. And that's usually how tasks are for me. They're just like something I don't want to forget to do, but I don't really want to get deep into the task, right? So I'm like, okay, this is great because I'm like, landing page, Apollo tracking email needs to get fixed, right? Like there's some issues with the Apollo account. There's like always stuff like this, right? You're like, I wasn't doing a good job of keeping track of that. So I actually really like this experience. Um, and yeah, oh, I have that one other thing I'm gonna show today is I'm going to replace this with an image. I need to there we go. And I'm overthinking this, but I definitely want to try to get this. There we go. Yeah, this is what I get with the kids behind. Here we go. Okay, there we go. Get me like a little less radius here. This with less radius, quite a bit less. There we go. All right. And for my final segment. Hey guys, you're not helping me very much. Go upstairs, please. Put Romeo on the deck. I'll be up in a minute. Yeah, that's not helpful at all. I know, but this is exactly what I did anyway. This is the life that I live. At least I'm gonna edit this down somehow. I don't know how I'm gonna find time this afternoon for that, but I will. Anyway, let's do this last segment. So yeah, I think just the it's funny. I don't like. It's like, how do you pitch without pitching, right? It's like, okay, so what am I like? I don't want to sound. I'm trying. I'm gonna try to say this, and it's like I'm like recording a session about my pricing plan, but I'm not going to sound like I'm recording a session about my pricing plan. No, but I do. I do want to make sure that I'm self promoting and clear, and I'm going to market with these influencer plans. This much I'm clear with, and right now I'm just kind of getting my feeling it out. I feel like I'm offering this like insane package that is like way too cheap. You get $400 off my basic package, but I actually kind of want to start there because I want to just like vibe with it and do this the way that I want to go through it, right? Meaning like I want to make sure that I bring people in through a process that I know is going to lead to killer outcomes. Like I'm not trying to go through a process with people that is like gonna get derailed into like what they're thinking. And I think that's part of it for me is like why I'm offering this as a package and what this approach is. And it's to me, it's about creating the content, and then that gives me the opportunity to explore and learn. And just like there's so many ways that I can provide value for a business, but I want to make sure I'm engaging in the commercial relationship that makes sense for me. And this to me is like by controlling it and just having the packaged approach is like what makes I think from all the things that I've learned, it makes the most sense. Even though it's like, oh yeah, I could create like custom service plans for people and different things, and I'm like, yes, but then what happens when you want to scale, right? And that's one of the big learnings I had, just even from MCF Tech, and something Mike was really helpful in working together to orchestrate like a really structured process, so that when we did 300 projects for people, each of those projects was like creating more and more value every time, and just more and more like streamlined. And a lot of that just comes from repetition, right? Like repeating, doing something that produces like an escalatingly valuable result over and over again, and just really getting into that. And when I read about a lot of the sponsor stuff, I think a lot of people who do content influencer type stuff, they're not focused on really on the value creation. They just want to get I don't know. I mean, I was reading the sponsored book, and I can imagine that people just, or they're just disorganized, don't do a super killer job. And for me, I was like, I want to make sure I'm producing, even if it's creative and funky, it's me, but it's still really high, super high quality stuff, well thought out, organized, focused, and results oriented, right? Like I'm going to look at the numbers. I'm going to push myself to constantly be using the engines and the tools that I have to put content out there and grow and create value. So anyway, I'm glad I had a chance to talk about this today, and I'll make sure I'm include this in my shows.